prefer
Any,
people that want to watch because I'm probably better than you, and
what if I got better than you? How would you
I'd try
feel?
and teach you. If you want to lay down and show you, like this, like leaning back, like
Yeah, get
yippee,
ready for it.
like
I'm about to hit
yippee.
this.
Wow.
What do they say? Like 60% of a conversation is nonverbal communication.
That's gonna be where we start the
That's what
podcast right
we're.
there. I
That's what we're.
bet you when we go and edit this that we're gonna be like, let's start it with that question. No, what did you say?
No, we were just learning about that in speech class, and they were going through and uh, they were attributing like speaking coaches and trainers that originated from the first presidential national debate between Kennedy and Nixon, because Nixon had like just got out of surgery and like JFK was like really comfortable on the microphone and in front of the camera, and everybody who just listened to it on the radio thought that Nixon won the debate like by far, but
Hmm.
everybody that watched it thought JFK won it because Nixon was like super uncomfortable in front of the camera. He turned down makeup. He looked like he was nervous, and that was like what sparked like, oh, we probably need to train these presidential candidates on body language and what the most effective form
Yeah,
of
yeah.
communication is. Yeah,
Um,
it was like the breakdown. You know how they broke down the video of that guy who like killed his wife and his children, and they could like tell he was guilty because of speaking in like past tense and like his mannerisms and
yeah,
things of
there's a
that
bunch of
nature.
well, yeah. You watched that video. Have you watched it? I watched like the whole body
No,
cam thing. Oh my God, dude. I was like, wow, dude, you seemed guilty the whole time. Like, there was not one part of this that made it seem, I don't know.
yeah. Well, it's just like if you committed a crime like that and then you're going to go in front of a large audience and talk about how sad it's make you, you'd have to be really, really trained at knowing what to do to make that seem believable.
It gives me like, it gives me a small amount of anxiety just thinking about it. Because even just holding up like the smallest of lies can weigh on you. So something like that, that I can't even in my wildest dreams think of, because normally there's a way that I could put myself into it, at least slightly, right? Where I can be like, ah, okay, maybe if my life went this way. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. I don't even want to repeat the actions, honestly. I'm sure most people
Yeah,
have heard about
even
it,
even yeah.
but it's like physically repulsive to think about that.
Even just using it as an example for this conversation that we're having and like telling you, oh, the guy who did this, I'm like, man, I don't even want to say it, but it's a good example for the whole body language thing. But yeah, I don't even like saying it. But
Yeah, I get
so
it.
I even saw like there's like someone who's trying to make like a real serious point and like look like they're powerful will like hold their hands like this because that
Yeah, I did
gives
that in
the
a car dealership.
yeah
Just
like
hold my hands like that. Well, you also
so what
don't
you want to
fidget.
do.
A lot of people start to fidget in some way or another. So if you're
Yeah,
fidgeting and I'm standing there with my hands just clasped together, not fidgeting, it puts us at a different power structure.
they actually used car salesmen in the video as well, which I thought was hilarious with my dad being a car salesman and knowing about that industry and you doing it. And one of the good example, the guy came up to him, to the girls, looked him in the eye, had like a slight nod in his head to show like some submissiveness, and was just very sure of himself and smiling. And the other guy was awkward and he was doing this thing that they referred, I forgot what they referred to it as, but it was like a comfort, like if you're nervous you'll like do this because it's like giving you some form of comfort to rub your hands together, or like what you said, like fidgeting is getting you some sort of comfort.
Yeah.
But I also think it's not like a perfect science. Like what if somebody is just a high strung anxiety person and they are telling the truth, or they're being genuine, but like they're just like super high anxiety, so it like gives the appearance that they're nervous, which they are. But you know what I mean? It's not like a perfect thing. You can't be like, oh, his body language and his eye contact were a little weird. He's lying or he's
Yeah.
hiding something. That's
Yeah,
what they
I
were
know
making
what you
it. They
mean.
were making it in the video. They're making it seem like, oh, we know exactly that these micro, what do they call it? Micro expressions were the tell, and
Well, like the tell with which direction you look when you think, because you access one side when you're being creative or one side when you're trying to like uh, tell the truth or whatever. So like you look right or you look left. I look both directions all the time. Like multiple times in a factual conversation, I'll look left and think or I'll look right and think. And I'm like, it's never. And then when I do lie about something, I don't really look any direction for the most part. I mean, not any more than I normally do. And I don't look in people's eyes when I talk to them, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to have a genuine conversation. I just generally don't stare into somebody's eyes for an hour and a half while we're talking. That's just fucking weird. There's a whole world around us. I don't just have to look at you the whole time. Thanks.
yeah, and if you do hold constant eye contact when you're having a conversation, it's weird.
Weirdo.
Yeah, you're supposed to look away for a little bit, not just.
Well, because generally, if we're going to have a long conversation, I'm going to be like pacing around or moving in some way or whatever. I mean, you know this, but generally people that don't know me that could be watching this, I probably act fairly strange when we're having a conversation because I'll stretch. Man, I hate you sometimes. I'm just kidding. Just put
Man, I
your phone on
normally
your mouse pad. Oh wait, put it on vibrate.
I normally have it constantly on vibrate, so I forget that I need to change it. There we
Yeah, I
go.
do too. I don't actually even know what the tone is when my phone goes off, now that I think about it. What's the worst ringtone you've ever had? I've had some pretty terrible ones just to piss off roommates.
I remember when I had a Motorola Razr phone. I had the chocolate,
You had a
and this was
chocolate?
I had a
Oh,
chocolate.
me
Yeah,
too. About the
I
white
thought,
one.
yeah, it was dope. It was like the first like music kind of phone, you know. Um, and I
Yeah,
remember
and then
like,
it was like $18 per song. You remember
yeah,
that? Oh
yeah.
my God.
Um, and before there were actual voice ringtones, I remember I bought like 18 ringtones with like the, ding, 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 and it was like the actual hit songs, but it was
Oh yeah.
like, yeah. I can't think specifically like a ringtone that I've had that was like the most absurd or weird,
You want to hear
but
mine? They're pretty bad.
yeah, go ahead.
So, have you seen Family Guy when what if I just asked you, like, have you ever seen Family Guy? That'd be such a weird question, wouldn't it? Anyway, have you seen the one where Peter is obsessed with Surfing Bird? And he's just singing, oh, well, a bird, bird, bird,
Yeah, that
over
bird,
and
yeah.
over, and it's just constant. It annoyed my roommate, so I immediately downloaded it as my ringtone. Like, we saw the episode, and he was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of them singing this song. And at the time, I was a contractor that went door to door in a sales position. So my phone rang all the time because I was either calling to put in a work order or getting a phone call from a customer, and I was putting hundreds of business cards out a day. So it was just coming in like crazy. And they got so mad, like they had to actually talk to me and be like, "Hey, you have to change it. Like it's not
You
funny anymore."
you can't have this ringtone
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. And I understood because it was stuck in my head constantly. Like I would go in to take a shower, I'd take my phone out of my pocket, put it down, and I would hear it ringing. Like actually hear it ringing. And it's not. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I even have that sometimes with my alarm. Like my alarm sound's been the same thing for so long. I'll think I hear it when it's actually not playing, and I'm like, the hell? Like I swear I can hear my alarm sound right now, but it's not going. I remember I had for the longest time my alarm sound was "Fat Bottom Girls" by Queen.
Mhm.
So every time the alarm would go off, "Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world." I cannot listen to that song. There's no chance. The second that song comes out, I gotta skip them. I can't do this. Like it's giving me like PTSD. I can't. I remember I had the lightsaber sound for a long time from my notifications.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I used to have doo 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 doo. It was the like dungeon theme
The
song from
Mario.
Mario. Yeah, that was a good one. I
Yeah.
remember one time I was allegedly on psilocybin and walking through a parking lot, nice sunny day, and the Super Mario song came on my phone, and it was ringing in my pocket. And I just kept walking and just like walking to the Super Mario song as I walked through this parking lot with my. Oh man, it was so beautiful. Like such a rare experience to be walking around in public and have that song come on and also be in a crazy world of your own already.
And the Mario songs playing. What do you have? What do you have on your phone now? Do you even use like specific notification sounds or ringtones?
Well, that's the thing is I literally always keep it on vibrate. I don't ever have sounds come out of my phone.
As do I. Yeah, my notifications are on vibrate constantly. And the vibrate makes enough of a sound that I can hear it when I have someone
I
text me
have
or
some
something.
funny stuff though. Oh yeah, 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 okay. Oh wait, because I have it turned all the way down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Spice Girls.
Hell yeah, bro. You know what that is? I
I like
can't
how
play it for too
I like
long.
how I'm like leaning in to try to hear it better, and it's in my headphones.
We can't play too much of anything because it'll get
We'll
taken
get
down.
we'll get pulled.
This one pissed people off, dude. Pineapple pen. I don't know what that is. So I guess it was Wannabe by is that the Spice Girls? Yeah. I just think it's hilarious, man. Like even embarrassing myself is fucking hilarious. Like if you're standing in line at the grocery store and Wannabe starts playing in your pocket and you answer and you're like, "What up, bro?" Like, oh man, I don't know. I embarrass people in public all the time, but sometimes you're alone and you're looking for a laugh, so
I mean,
what are you gonna do?
that's why you use surprise porno, you know?
Oh yeah, that one was free,
So
guys.
yeah, free plug. No, yeah, I used to tell people that I was with. I was like, I might embarrass you in public. So
Yeah, people get it.
I mean, look, I came to Arizona and you and I were for like 10 minutes. We were acting out different sporting events in a parking lot.
Yeah, yeah, that
Like,
was fun. That was mad fun.
you know, people are watching, just thinking like, what the hell are these guys doing?
Oh yeah, but then there's some level of them that's like, I should just go join them, and then they don't. It's like the person not willing to dance, but wants to. Like, see, I never wanted to dance, so me standing on the edge of a dance floor is like, this is where I want to be, where I really, really, really want to be.
Tell me what you want, what you really want.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I really, really, really want to sing you this song.
If you want to be mine.
That's what we need to do. We need to make an all-male spicy boys or something, you know? And we just
Yeah.
do covers of old Spice Girls songs. All right,
So what would
podcast
that?
over, guys. We gotta go. We got bigger
That's the
fish to
new
fry now.
idea. What would the names be? A1? Can I be A1?
Oh God. What
A1
would I be?
spice?
I could be like Annie's.
Annie spice?
No,
Old Bay?
you've never had Annie's?
No.
Man, that's some good salad dressing. Um,
You can be Old Bay.
I don't know what that is.
It's a spice.
Hmm. Oh wait, no, but they're like adjectives though. So we would have to do something like that. We can't do sauces.
What
Sauces was
are
too far. I
what
think we're
what
way
are their
off base.
names? Their names are like what? Posh
Sporty,
spice.
yeah. Angry, sleepy, dopey.
You could be slutty spice.
Yeah, hell yeah. I just go all
Always
the
like
time.
even when you're singing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh
I'll be
man,
bored.
what happened to
I'll be.
timestamps, bro? That's a timestamp right there. Now we just gotta watch it all the way through because we suck.
Oh man. Can we start over?
Yeah,
You go. Yeah.
the magic of the editing room. You just do this now, and the webcam knows and it rolls it all the way back.
I'm gonna be druggy spice.
I'm gonna be OD Spice. We'll be
Just
like,
always on the verge.
yeah, we're partners in this, right? And then the other two can just be like they're cool, kind of doing their own thing, but like we always take selfies together and stuff while we're like super high on opiates or something.
Yeah, yeah. That'll go over really well. I think that fits the culture right now. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, here's a fun thing. So 6ix9ine, right? Most people would say like, fuck that guy, right? Like
yes, yes.
fucking, what are you doing with your hair, your tattoos, your songs are pretty terrible, right? But everybody thought it was cool, right? Everybody's digging it. The mass of the people decided, right? Do you think he made snitching cool now? Do you think everybody's gonna be like, oh man, I'm trying to 6ix9ine out. Like I'm trying to get some dirt on some people so I can go snitch them out. Like it could happen. Think about it.
Oh, I am thinking about it. I don't think so. I know I saw like a lot of people are having the discussion, and there was a thing that was posted that was like these guys tried to set me up, and these guys slept with my girlfriend, and this and that, and I'm about to go away for them. Like,
Oh, you got involved with a gang and a bunch of fucked up stuff happened?
yeah.
Oh no. Somebody fucked my girlfriend who was with me while I was selling heroin and telling people to shoot people. Like,
Surprising. It's really surprising, honestly.
isn't
I
that
wouldn't think.
isn't that
I
kind of
wouldn't.
like that's kind
Yeah.
of the point. Like get as high up as you can and then have enough information to where you can be like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you caught me. Okay, okay, fine. Put me in witness protection and I'll help you put like 30 people in jail forever."
Isn't that how it always happens? Like even in the mafia and the mob,
Yeah,
like
basically.
someone like you get into that situation and you're faced with life, or you can give up the people that you probably don't really care about, but you are
And they're
like stuck.
probably shitty people anyway, and you're a
Yeah, but
shitty
you guys.
person, so you don't really give a shit. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I'd snitch for sure. Don't get involved with me. Gang members that are watching this, don't come trying to recruit me, because I'll straight snitch. Not really,
What if you
but
could give me up to avoid a 10-year sentence?
no, I wouldn't do that.
Oh,
No, that, yeah.
I'd come visit you in jail.
Yeah,
We do
I
we
don't
we
really
do
mind. If it was between you or me going to jail, like if we did something stupid together and they were like, okay, one of you has to go to jail, I'd be like, I'll just go. Like, I'm fine. I
I
could
still
do
come to
jail. I don't give a
I
shit.
still I still come do the podcast with you through the glass. Bring the the camera. Have the mic set up to the phone.
We'll be the SPM. No, never mind. So, I didn't look up Man, we're on like a rap kick right now almost. I didn't look up what SPM did, which you might not have heard of him, but
South Park Mexican.
yeah, I never
I
actually like
know.
looked up what he did, right? But I knew it was some sort of sexual assault or something, and I
How,
was like,
how does that song go first? I can like
you know
almost
my
hear it.
name, it's SPM. I don't know. That's all I know.
Oh.
I
I can like
hated him.
almost I can
I
like
think
almost
he's
hear the
like
song.
horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Big ups to SPM, by the way.
Shout
Um,
out SPN.
yeah. we don't we don't care that you raped some like 12-year-old girl. It's no big deal to us.
Yeah, your music is what really
So
matters.
good.
It's like it's
No,
like R. Kelly. Let
but
him
in
go. You know.
in all honesty though, like I just never looked up what he actually did, and then everybody I saw on like social media was like, "Oh, SPM's finally getting out of jail or something." I was like, "Oh shit, I never actually looked it up. Like, what's up with this guy?" Because he's super popular down in Arizona. Like everybody was listening to him, and it was almost frustrating because I didn't like him at all. So I looked it up, and it was like aggravated sexual assault on a minor, and like all this crazy stuff, like kidnapping and blah blah blah. And I was like, you guys, are you kidding me? Like you're you're seriously because it's beyond like still listening to the jams, right? Like he didn't the jams were happening at the same time. It's not and they're like supporting him like think people would have conversations about him getting out of jail and how like ugh that's
Yeah,
just,
like free SPM and
yeah, but this it was like
yeah.
before
If
people
I'm
had that
I so
saying.
there's been new information. You realize there's like the R. Kelly thing going on, and there's still people. There's even girls now that are like in support of him and like, oh, let him go, he didn't do that, or like they still like love him, like, oh, he's a bad boy when he's ruined all these women's lives. So it's like Michael Jackson got cleared in court from not being a child molester, but there's like new evidence that keeps coming out, and it's he touched kids, man. Michael Jackson touched kids allegedly, but he touched kids. So like I even think to myself, I love Michael Jackson songs, and I love Pretty Young Thing is one of my favorite songs of all time, and it comes on now, and I'm really like, I really shouldn't listen to this. Like I should have that be enough of a thing where like the man behind these amazing songs was a monster. I shouldn't listen to his music, you know.
I haven't really given that like that too much thought. Like not watching Louis C.K. anymore or something. Like his old stuff. I suppose I haven't really thought about it that way. I just meant more in supporting him still, as opposed to like if I liked an SPM song, would I have still listened to it once in a while? Like, probably once in a while. But
Yeah, it's just something I think about. I wouldn't say I necessarily hold myself to that. Like Pretty Young Thing's a pretty awesome song.
like I bet Nazis had some kind of cool paintings and shit, you know. It'd be like, oh, that is a beautiful painting, but knowing that the person that painted it, you know what I mean? I don't
I
know.
do. I know exactly what you mean.
It's
I still
tough.
don't get I still don't get how they're gonna put 6ix9ine in witness protection. Like
I know.
you're gonna have to put him in some boonfuck Egypt town where there's no people, or put him on like where do you put him? Everybody knows him.
Yeah.
Like he's not a person that you take him away. I would feel from the states, and then he's like, oh, nobody knows him. I wonder if like Europe and Africa and Australia know about 6ix9ine. They probably do. He's that polarizing
He's
of a
on the
character.
world billboard. Like, you know, he had a Billboard song that was number one that was in Spanish on the English top 100. He had a number one in Spanish. What?
Like he recorded the song in Spanish, and it made one on Billboard America. Wow.
Bro, that guy was a fucking powerhouse in that industry. You guys just have to deal with the dogs, sorry, because we're too hot right now. We're not taking a break. So, aha, see, dude? It's like I can't do it. I gotta stop.
No finger guns for you for a while.
Pew, pew. I'll just shoot one twice as opposed to two, you know? So anyway, uh, I had no idea. I don't pay attention to news about hip hop. I just listen to music, man. Like it's not if somebody tells me something that's cool or if there's like a cool collaboration, that's cool. Um
Well, so then there's the
Somebody goes
question:
to
Is it?
rehab, I usually hear about that somehow like through a grapevine, but I don't follow any of that stuff. So when I finally was like, okay, I see an interview with him, it's like an hour. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to listen to this one. And he's talking about how nobody can touch him, blah blah blah. And then turns out I didn't know this because this was like 2 weeks after the initial incident. Like a week later, he gets robbed and kidnapped and has to like roll out of a car to get away. And then he goes on another hour and a half something interview where he's talking about like, well, we found out the only people that could touch me were the people right next to me. Like I'm still a fucking boss ass bitch. Like I'm a beast. I'm a whatever. And I was like, you know what, dude? Fuck it. Like I like it. I dig it. Because if people want to listen and you're making trash shit, like my little cuck thing, which you guys will see soon enough.
Stay tuned for Freebase and
But
Lil
like
Cuck.
basically being a parody of rap in general because we are essentially desecrating the same way as he is. Like he knows his shit's not like good in the same way as what real hip hop would be considered, right? His shit is like I'm looking for something to blast my eardrums out. I'm 16 years old and I'm driving my parents' car around. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, you remember Waka Flocka?
not really. I
You
mean,
don't
I
remember?
know I know the name, but I couldn't name a single song.
Oh well, he that's what he made. He made bangers. He wasn't really that great of a rapper. His flow wasn't that great, but he had a deep voice and it sounded hardcore like crunk. He even came out and was like, "I'm not a good rapper. Like I'm not
Yeah,
good at
Six
this."
Nine said the same thing. That was one of the
Yeah,
things he said. He's like, bro, I just write some shit down and then I fucking put a beat to it and like I don't second guess shit. I was like, okay, man, cool. I get it. Like, am I standing behind him or do I support any of it? Like, no, not in any way. I would never pay $1 for all of his fucking music combined,
yeah.
honestly. However, do I give a shit? Not really. And do I respect it to some extent that he was able to dominate? Like, the only people bigger than him were female artists, and that's debatable in some ways because his content versus their content is differently accessible. So at any rate, that's insane. That
No,
is
I respect it.
insane.
I respect it in
In
the
like a
sense of
year? Are
being
you
being able to go
what?
from yeah.
What?
But then, so the question I want to ask you, since we're on this topic, is it all right to still appreciate somebody's art knowing that they're a horrible person?
I think so, but I don't think that contributing to them in any way is okay. In my book, but do I think that that's still debatable? Absolutely, and I could be convinced otherwise. But
Yeah. Well, I think
my
that's the
my stance
same.
on it currently would just be like, hey, I'm not if I know like Spotify or somebody is going to get some sort of like payment for it or give a payment toward somebody who like say Michael Jackson, that's the easiest one to use. If you listen to Michael Jackson on Spotify purposefully, it counts towards a certain amount of your listening time and then your $10 a month gets divvied based on that. So I think Spotify gets whatever, $2 a month, and then the rest gets divvied out to the artists that you listen to per how much you listen to them, right? It's kind of a weird thing that most people don't know, but you're thus contributing to either that person or in Michael Jackson's case, you'd be contributing to whoever owns the music who supported him as well, right? So, in that case, I don't think so. But if Billie Jean comes on and I'm fucking driving somewhere, like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna appreciate it. It's good fucking music, man. Like, I'm sorry.
It is.
I
I
don't
told you,
know.
pretty young thing comes on, and I'm pretty young
Yeah.
thing.
But am I
Like,
gonna pay to see the 3D concert? Hell no. Are you kidding me? Hell no. Beatles too, those Satan worshippers.
Hey, let's take a break for our sponsors.
Oh my god. This guy and his breaks all the time. I mean, that's what fascinates me with gaming. It's
Well, that's why I
love
appreciate.
it.
This is
Yeah.
coming from the guy. This is coming from the guy who talks shit to people who play video games all the time. Like I'm playing disc golf, and I'm like, you know how I know that you guys like are losers? Like, because you're talking about playing video games. Like,
Yeah.
just the whole time I'm just ragging on them. I'm like, you guys, this is a waste of time. Like, but I like it. I actually like watching it, and I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Like, yeah. But I don't want to play. But I think it's cool.
I prefer
Any
people that want to watch because I'm probably better than you, and watching you is gonna drive me fucking insane, telling you what to do constantly. You'd hate it. I'd just be like, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and you'd have the keyboard in front of you and be like,
what
there's
would you
like
do? What would you
15
do?
buttons, bro.
What would you do if one day I was like, you know what? You know, podcast is doing well. We have enough money where we can pay our rent and everything. I just have all this free time. I'm gonna see if I can get better than Chris at Fortnite or Apex. And what if I got better than you? How would you
I'd
feel?
try and teach you.
I know you would, but
I mean, I'd be impressed, that's for sure.
I was good. I was good at Gears of War. I really legitimately was good at Gears of War.
Doesn't translate even slightly.
I was pretty good at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
I'm talking about this right here.
Oh, yeah,
It's not
no.
the same thing. It's just not. And you don't have aim. You didn't even know that you had aim assist on console games. I didn't know that up until 4
What?
years ago when I told you like
Hey,
aim assist
how
on
come
consoles.
these dudes are telling me it's the opposite?
Because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Like I'm telling
apparently.
them, I'm like, yeah, but that's because
It's
console
game.
has.
It's
I'm
game
like,
to
I'm
game.
like, I'm like, that's why because console has autos. He's like, no, it doesn't. PC does. No, but I mean, these are console gamers, so I think there's always that like console versus PC thing, you know? So he's like, yeah, well, PC has an unfair advantage, and I'm like,
I can
I was like, Chris
absolutely
knows what he's
assure
talking
you,
about.
anybody that's watching this, try to play a game on PC that you're good at on console and tell me how fun it is. Like you're going around and you're smashing like 5 or 6 kids every time you play Fortnite, and you're just like, fuck yeah, dude, this is so fun. I just got off work and I'm having fun. Okay, bro, come over, get on the mouse and keyboard, and tell me how you do. You know what's even better? Call of Duty. That's perfect. I was so good at Call of Duty. So good in public matches. In competitive, I wasn't that great. But pubs matches, because you can feel what the other people are going to do at some point. You play so many matches on the same maps repetitively that you kind of know. And it's the same thing in Fortnite, but there's just so much more that you have to know. Because if somebody builds a certain way, you know what their skill level is and how quickly they build certain things. If they try and take top position on you and they're very reliant on staying above you, you start knocking stuff down, reset them. You know, anyway, without getting all into it.
By the way, if you are listening and you're interested in seeing this guy's competitive gaming streaming, how do they go ahead and find that? Because we just went and looked at all of them, and it's pretty cool, and you could see how good
Well, I
you
don't
were
have-
at Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything recent at all. Those were all pretty
No,
old,
but I'm just saying we're talking about it,
it
so
was just XTO.
if somebody's listening, they're gonna want to see your.
Yeah, I mean, it was XTOPH3R on YouTube in the search right there.
We could even put a link.
If we find this piece, though. Yeah, whatever. However it goes about. My PC gameplay on there was bad. The editing was great. Like, I edited little songs in and, like, made it kind of funny and fun. And I would do, like, 2 deaths and then a win. So it was, like, 30, 40 minutes, but it was good. Like, really good. Nobody wants to sit there and watch 30, 40 minutes of you running through the woods or, like, driving around in a cop car doing nothing. So I started editing differently. But that's what I love about Battle Royale games. It's like it's
Excuse
a
me.
minor investment because you have the time that it takes to get into a lobby, then you have the time that it takes to get into a game, and then where you land is already like defining your position on the map because the best players are going to drop immediately to the best loot areas with the most spawns for loot, right? So if that's how you want to play it and you want to take them out as early as possible, you're setting the tone. Or you're the type of person that's like, I want to go to the edge of the map. And I'm both, right? I like to get on and immediately just start just dropping straight in. And then eventually, once I feel warmed up, then I'll go to the edge of the map and really try and play to win. So,
Get that action in the beginning,
yeah.
and yeah.
Because your
Um,
skills are there, but you just have to get over that hump of like a little bit
Thinking.
of. No, sorry, somebody was saying something out there.
Oh no, I was saying, but you probably in the beginning you're probably thinking a little too much, and then once you kind of get warmed up, you're just reacting more. And
Yeah, you get the fluidity to your motion. Like in Call of Duty, it was easier because of the aim. Again, I mean, I'm sorry, but like console aim assist is so ass. It's
I don't know. I don't
ridiculous.
know. I don't know if it exists now. Honestly, I don't.
It does.
Can't.
100,000%. If your friends don't realize that they have aim assist on Fortnite, they are tripping. They are tripping. I'll show you after this, just for fun. I'll show you the difference because this is what happens. You're on PC, right? You're fucking melting kids with your shotgun, outbuilding the shit out of them because it's so hard to build on console because you've only got
I
this
can
little
imagine.
thing.
Yeah.
And I literally have to move my hand like this much to do a 360. Not really, it's probably more like that much. Anyway, so I pull out my walls and I'm like whew, all the way around, and then I'm 2 stories up, and that person is still down there, and I go to peek down and shoot at them, and I see them go aim in, shoot, aim in, shoot, aim in, shoot 3 times, and they just dink, dink, dink in my head. That is 100% console aim assist. Because you
So
cannot fire that fast because it's got bloom. So what bloom does is there's either hit scan games or there's bloom games. Hit scan means your reticle is on the person and you hit the trigger. It's a button that does damage to them. So there's no projectile. But in like a bloom or bullet travel time game, there's an actual projectile. So you can dodge a bullet after it's shot, right? You go boom 1 time and you shoot, and then you shoot again, your bloom is going to be so big that there's no way you're hitting just the tip of my head that's poking out. If you got insanely lucky, maybe you hit 2 of them. But to hit 3 in a row and not be on console, whoring out the aim assist that will just collapse in because it's got first bullet accuracy. So when you first aim in your gun, it zeroes in, right? And then when you aim out, it goes back out and then it zeroes in again and it grabs the person every time. So if only the head is
so
showing, it only grabs the head. Bink,
that's
bink,
why in
bink.
Call of Duty you see everyone who plays console. They don't. The way they aim and shoot is like aim, shoot out, aim, shoot out, aim, shoot
Mhm.
out. Like it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So this is interesting. And it goes along with streaming. And so we've talked about people who are making money streaming the video games they play and being at a high enough level. And obviously, there's personality involved in that and everything. So now that I have my son and he watches YouTube Kids and things like that, there's people who make money off of YouTube revenue. Will like play the new Spider-Man game, and they'll have like different colored Spider-Mans, and they like try to build a narrative towards children while recording the Spider-Man game, and then that will like go into like the YouTube Kids realm, and they'll watch that. So there's like several different games that they like make narratives of for people to watch on YouTube. I was like, that was interesting. Like another avenue you could use gaming and recording it for to try to make money off of it.
I think it's a lot better avenue to get your kid interested into than football or fighting or any sort of extreme sport where you jump 30, 40 feet in the air or sliding down handrails. I wish I had focused on it, man. I really do.
I wish
Because
I
as
had
soon as I
Shroud's. I
did,
wish
I
I
was
had
like,
Shroud's dad.
not even. I could have done that though. I could have done that. I was sitting there in my free time when I wasn't off just wasting my entire life, you know, all day, every day, basically. And then I would come home and just lay around or whatever. I had no passion. I had nothing to shoot for. I could have sat there and gotten wasted and played zombies every day and made something out of it.
If you were about 6 years younger, could have been entirely different.
Probably would have had something to try and be responsible for and like just I don't know. It's unfortunate. I don't let it weigh on me, but it is a reality.
Well,
If I
I
knew that
was
there was
just
even a potential that that could happen, I would have tried doing it a lot sooner.
Yep, but then we might not be sitting here making this podcast right now, right?
No, we probably
Like
still
if it
would.
were
I'd just be in a different realm.
maybe not.
Hmm.
I mean, if you had to stream 5 days a week for long periods of time,
Yeah,
it'd
I'm
be
not that
harder.
type of person. I do what
Well,
I would do what I
well,
wanted to do.
I get that, but there would still be pressure on you to have your stream if you're having. You say that. You say that.
No, dude, I understand it too much. If you're able to establish where you're taking care of everything, the difference, dude, if you have 200 people watching you, you are making your entire living off of what you're doing, like on Twitch.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to have that back pressure of I need to be the
No,
most viewed player or I need to keep
you
increasing
have,
my once you have your
yeah,
audience, then why would you stress yourself out by playing any more than you actually want to play?
yeah. You want to
Yeah.
take a month off because your eyeballs hurt and you just want to go do something else. Oh yeah, see, Mister's not here, but Zoe wants to be in
We have a replacement.
it. Yep.
There's no
Wow.
replacement.
Yeah,
There's no
there is
replacement.
none.
Wrong word. Or we have a fill in.
Yeah, fill in for the day. She's pretty. Um, what were we talking about?
We were saying like it sucks when you have a key and like there's not enough WD-40 or
Hmm.
oil on like the locking
Creaky
mechanism.
keys.
Well, and you turn the key and you're like, oh man, if I turn it harder, it will unlock. And then you turn it too hard, you break the key off in the lock, and then you have a bunch of
Hmm.
different.
Sounds like a pretty us conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
But what were we talking about?
Uh, oh, we were saying once you get your audience, there's no
Oh yeah,
reason
yeah, yeah.
to
So you
play.
go,
There's no reason to play more than you would actually want to play.
yeah, you need to go
That's not
live
the
your
point.
life or do something, and you feel pressure to get back on. Like I don't even want people that are not gonna watch me because I didn't put something out. Now, if you're completely inconsistent, there was somebody that I used to watch every single one of his videos that would come out because he was entertaining and he was good at the same time and he was just funny, right? So I would watch it all the time. And then there would be like 2 weeks and then he'd consistently post again. But now he goes 3, 4 weeks or something and doesn't post something. And I don't catch myself watching his stuff anymore, man. I'm just like, you know, cool, I guess, that you posted something. Maybe I'll get to it, but I'm probably going to watch a podcast or somebody else's content because you're not consistent about it. I think it's
Yeah,
different. It's
there's a
different.
difference between once a month and 10 times a month. Like you don't have to.
I think the cat's puking.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's hot.
But I mean, I feel like with the podcast, right? You and I could get so into this podcast that you're over obsessing on recording and not focusing on living your life and improving yourself, and then that would make the podcast suffer because like what are you going to talk about if you're not out there kind of doing things at least to a certain degree like
Yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, like, it's all based on why people are watching you. That's the biggest thing. And like Ninja would be the greatest example because I used to watch him all the time. And then when he changed over and stopped being toxic and stopped, screaming at people and yelling at people. Well, he would still kind of yell and stuff, but he used to curse. And then he stopped, and I still watched, right? And then he started getting like this pressure, and you could just see that he had like the pressure to constantly continue doing it, even though he was doing stuff outside of it, and he would go out of town and try and stream somewhere else, and it was just this whole thing. And like he streamed at Lollapalooza or something, but
Animals.
but I could imagine that would be super stressful. Not playing on my own PC, even if you put me on like a way nicer PC, I still think it'd be like, eh. And at least I would have to use my mouse, because my mouse is sick. This thing's got like 16 buttons on it, so I don't have to really use my keyboard for anything other than movement.
So when competitive gamers go to tournaments at centralized
They bring their
locations,
stuff.
they bring on.
Yeah. Even your controller, if you want. Well, no, I guess not now anymore. But they have customized controllers for people, because generally you want to use like a SCUF controller for console gaming, where you have the paddles, so you don't
Yeah.
have to take your thumb off the right stick, which is insane that people don't use those. When I found out about that, I was already like okay, I was pretty good. And then I got one, and like a day of practice, I'm just destroying people. Like literally not having to stop aiming at any point. So like if you want to lay down and get cover, you're still able to turn at the same time. Or if you wanted to jump and then boost over somewhere, you can aim in at the same time as doing that and shoot. It's a game changer, bro.
Changes the game.
But then playing on PC yet again, it really is like PC or go home. Like I won't even maybe I'd play like Smash with you, or if you wanted to play like some old school, like I would play Star Fox for sure. But again, I would rather play it on PC because I could just like so much easier doing rollies with just like you could play Star Fox with one hand on PC.
I wouldn't know. Only games I've ever played on PC is StarCraft back in the day.
And Roller Coaster Tycoon, The
Yeah,
Sims.
and Sims. I will always have a place in my heart for The Sims.
We both realized that we should be. Did you get an Alto? Oh, you were trying to hide it. Oh, does it suck just like mine?
No, so it's funny. When I went and bought this today, I even told the store clerk at 7-Eleven, I was like, yeah, my buddy said that like it tastes bad or he has issues with the cartridges. And no, this one tastes great. It's like a lot
Yeah, yeah,
more, it's a lot more flavorful than the other thing that I had.
yeah. Only the mixed berry though. Did they have other flavors?
I do menthol.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I have no interest. None.
I like the throat feeling.
Bleh. That's another myth. The whole menthol thing.
What's the
But no,
myth?
I found out it's something about like uh what was it? It's some sort of blood difference with black people or something, where their throats are like differently coated or something. Like they don't.
Like that
I
was
don't
that
remember what
was
it
that was the
was.
thought that was the
Yeah,
thought behind
somebody
them
told me
liking
that, and then
menthol.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And then other people started telling me, and I was like, what's going on? Like
Pretty
this is
pretty sure
weird.
that's just a cultural thing.
Yeah, but I forget what the whole reason was that they said it. It was something about like saliva, being able to generate saliva in your throat or something,
That sounds made
or
up.
like a blood, I don't know. But I found
Sounds.
out you can take the little bottoms off right here. Like there's like tabs on both sides.
And you
I
can refill
don't
it
recommend
yourself.
doing this at home. I mean, you know, Views is gonna be mad if I recommend doing this at home. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty simple to take it off. Like I just took some pliers, and then there's like two pieces inside of it. If you look at one of the cartridges, down at the bottom you see that like gray piece. It's inside of it, right above the silver.
Yeah.
So that's that piece, and then the piece of plastic above it are gonna potentially come out. So you take those out, make sure that you don't get any juice in the straw part, and you just fill this up,
And you
and then
could hypothetically you could refill it,
yeah, you could hypothetically refill these.
or you could put some tastier treats in there.
Yeah, and I hypothetically tried it.
And it hypothetically worked.
Yeah, I didn't put the things back in properly, and it was the middle of the night, so I didn't really feel like going out to the garage and getting tools and blah blah blah, getting all messy. But I tried it. But I kept getting juice in my mouth when I would do it. But I figured one of the pieces was just out of place in there because I watched other people do it and they did it fine. So I hypothetically.
So I couldn't help but notice, Chris. Looks like you you have something on your wrist there. I mean, I don't know. Are
Yeah, I'm
you
just always ready for a fight.
Oh, okay. So you tape your wrists every morning, just
Just
ready
one.
for a fight.
Just one. I
Just
want to be
okay.
fair.
Yeah, your striking hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
I don't use my legs or
That's what I
my
thought it was. That's what I thought it was for.
behind the curtain. Wow.
What did you just do?
Hmm?
What did you just do?
I switched the server because you're
I was freezing, glitching,
yeah,
glitching.
yeah. It's weird that switching to Central makes it better, but it eventually starts screwing up a bunch, and then we have to switch, and then for some reason it runs fine. And I want to just switch it right off the bat, but I almost just feel like they're penalizing us for being in the call for so long. They're just like, come on, guys, you're soaking up bandwidth right now.
Yeah, because they kick you off if you're not doing anything after 5 minutes.
Yeah. They even they even have a channel, like if you make a Discord channel and go into it, where you go AFK and it puts you in there so that you're not using bandwidth to communicate. I can't believe you're sucking at menthol right now, bro.
Yeah,
What are you, a nurse?
I am. Yeah,
You ever
I
think
haven't
about
told
doing
you.
that? Make like
Nursing?
$35 an hour or something? Yeah, me neither. Cleaning
Nope.
up
It's too
poo.
much of a. I just feel like it's too much of a service position. Like, I'm
Ain't
sure there's
touching
a.
your poo, dog.
Yeah, and I'm sure nurses get abused a lot from their patients.
What are you gonna do? Grab my junk?
No, I just mean like
Oh, like physically abused?
no, no. I mean like say you have an entitled person who's in the hospital and they don't feel like you're taking the care of them they think, and they're like,
Mm.
oh, like I'm do you know who I am, like so and so. I mean, that's going to come with any service position ever, but I don't want to get into any profession like that where it's customer service based and I have to like smile and let certain things go that I wouldn't feel like I would normally. No, I mean, I think that's kind of unrealistic in a sense, because anything like even me getting into psychology, it's customer service based, but I feel like it's a little different where it's I'm the expert on this thing and I'm going to be giving you advice or trying to help you through things. And if you don't like the way that I do it and you bring that up, then you should probably find someone else, because it's not going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to adjust what I learned and how I know that I can help you out mentally because you don't like the way I'm doing it. I don't feel like it works that way too much. I
Yeah.
haven't been in the field, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree. I've
Like I
thought about
hate
this in a
having,
profession.
yeah, I just it doesn't scare me or like bother me for people to lay their like deep-seated dark emotions on me or their resentment or things like that. I can listen to it and not make it my burden, but still have enough emotional investment in what they're saying where I can like reciprocate the energy and try to tell them what's best for them and try to like question my own biases and be like, is this, am I telling this person this because this would work for me and I'm telling them that for that reason? Or, am I really being subjective here and trying to feel who this person is and see what's happened to them and try to help them move on from that?
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole point, you know. You don't have a connection to them other than just being there to help them. So for the time that you're with them, it's just focused on unlocking whatever it is inside of them to make them feel better.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, like I grew up seeing psychologists, and they never helped me.
Just walking by you on the street
Um,
while you were begging for change.
yeah, and they sat down and they tried to figure out why I was out there. But I think a lot of it comes down to being present. Like if you can be really present with the person, I feel like a lot of the times it's just like going through the emotions, like, oh, how do you feel today? How does that make you feel? And okay, we're gonna give you 20 milligrams of Wellbutrin. Let us know how it makes you feel. Or they're like, oh, well, you should exercise more, which is good advice. It's all great advice, but like, what? How do you really get to the bottom of the underlying issues that are.
Well, I mean, it's a lot easier to do that. I think that's majorly a laziness thing, but then obviously money as well.
Well, and that's what
Marketing.
that's what I discuss with other people getting into the field or other people who have had similar experiences with psychologists. It's like it's a job. Like a lot of people just get into this because it's money and it's a field where you can have a private practice and it's respected and things like that. You got to think like what are the motivations for some people to get into this? It's like they're fine just to be like, "Oh, I want to get off and go on my boat." Like just fucking take the fucking antidepressant, like go away, like yeah, just depends.
Yeah, could you
I was like,
imagine just like being stuck in that cycle of like, okay, the doctor can make me feel happy, but we just have to figure it out, right? So I'm gonna try this and then I'm gonna try this, and nobody's telling you to focus on like activities or hobbies or interests.
or no one's telling you like you've been here for 10 sessions and we've given you these drugs and I'm telling you activities and things you can do to try to help yourself, but I think your issue is that you don't like yourself and you need to focus on that. Like no one ever
Well, that's
said
the whole
that to me.
point.
That was never said to me growing up. There
Yeah,
was no one
you.
ever no one no psychologist was ever like I think you need to re-examine what you think about yourself and why you don't value yourself and why are you okay making destructive actions? If you're okay making destructive actions against yourself, like you should re-examine if you really do like yourself, because I don't feel like you would do those things to yourself if you did like yourself. Like, how come nobody ever said that to me? Is that like a taboo, or is that like a failure in understanding the motivations behind depression, or is that just my own unique situation that mine was because of those reasons? Like, what?
Well, I think the
Like,
point is more to tiptoe around it and get the other person to realize it themselves. Like people kind of
it's more
make.
effective.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the stand-up comedian joke where he talks about like, "Oh, I'm paying you. Why don't you tell me what you think?" Because they just keep asking him what he thinks, and it's like, well, yeah, that's the point. Is you just talk to this person, and you talk for 96% of it, and they talk for 4%, and they just lead you along a conversation with yourself. I've thought about this in depth, because that's what I would do. Anytime that I've been put in front of a counselor or whatever, somebody that I get to just say whatever I want to, and they're not allowed to tell anybody unless I say something like suicidal or homicidal or rapey, and
Yes,
I
yes.
don't have any of that in me. So
Yeah.
unless you hit my dog, I realized that the other day. I was like, I'd be liable to hurt somebody pretty bad if they like kicked my dog for no reason or something, I'd be like,
It's your it's your
whoa,
it's your it's your
yeah,
family member.
yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway,
But if
um,
someone's if someone's so dense and their belief system is so jaded that they're putting all blame outside, oh, I mean, how much of asking them questions can you bring them to that realization? I mean, you'd have to be really
well,
good
that's why
at,
some people have to keep doing it.
yeah, you'd have to be really good at being able to make someone think about them own selves introspectively enough that they have a realization that their issue is that they blame everyone else for why they are the way they
Well,
are and how they act.
if you're sitting around blaming everybody else, you're probably not going to a psychologist, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
yeah, maybe,
depending on what you're
or
doing.
maybe, yeah. I mean, or you could just not realize that your issue is that, and you want to seek help. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like if you're sitting here and you're blaming everything else, why are you going to go get help? Because it's not your problem. Like you're not the issue. There's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with everything else. I get what you're saying, but I think you could still, at a certain point, be that person and still go seek the treatment. But I
Well,
mean, I guess you could apply that. You could apply that to another situation. Like, how do you, through a series of questions, how do you lead someone to their own realization of what their issue is?
lots of
Because
pain.
for yeah, it probably help. For me, it's effective. Like, let's say I had
Oh,
an
you're running
issue.
away from clowns? You got molested by a clown. That's what it was. Called it.
Yeah,
Because I'm on
no,
peyote too, so we figured it out.
I mean, and now they're going to have psilocybin for antidepressants and anxiety. But no, but I mean, for me, like, let's say I have an issue. You know, with how I am, you could just tell me straight up to my face, this is what you're doing, and I can be like, oh yeah, you're right. And like I'll have that realization through that conversation. But yeah, I don't think that's not like a common trait. Normally you get like defensive or you try to defend against it or something.
Yeah. What's crazy is when you realize that you have those debates with yourself inside, and then sometimes you'll fail, and then you just fall down that hill again, and you're like, God damn it. I did it with my diet recently. I went like 3 days straight, where I ate stuff that I knew I shouldn't eat, and on that third day, dude, I was cramped so bad. Like, I haven't felt such intense stomach pain in so long. But it was bad. Like, not to gross anybody out, but I was in the bathroom for like 40 minutes. And
I remember you telling me how badly your stomach was hurting.
oh,
My diet's been kind of messed up for like a month now,
yeah,
and I
when you
just
ordered food, what was it, last night or something? I was like,
yeah,
oh, that can't be good food. And then you're just gonna go to
nope,
sleep right after it. Ooh,
yeah,
you're gonna have
yeah.
a gross
So
morning.
today I went to the grocery store and I everything that I bought was healthy, so I feel good about that.
You
My
go
diet was
strictly
great.
organic or not?
I don't know. Is Trader Joe's strictly organic?
I think so. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I can trust them compared to another grocery store.
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't trust
to a
any of
to
these fuckers. Like,
to the yeah,
why is
to
there
a degree.
why is there
To
a
the,
non-organic and an organic section? That's my thing. I'm like, what? Like, oh, do you want shitty or do you want good? We sprayed this stuff with neurotoxin.
and you're presented with that option constantly, and you choose the other one because it's less expensive.
Okay, I'd rather just not
Yeah,
eat, thanks.
yeah. I only bought like one or two meat products.
What do you mean?
Like I'm trying
Oh,
to.
I keep meaning. I stopped eating like the burgers and stuff. I meant to send you pictures of that. I'll have to do that still.
Yeah, I'm starting to transition to more uh, plant-based and
You'll realize like it's just not that different. It really isn't. When you realize like, oh, I can eat this instead. I'm now full and there's no repercussion whatsoever. Your shits are the best you've ever taken in your life. And I'm not even kidding. Like you're in and out and it's like nothing. Like it's not even a part of your day. You just go, you're done, bam. Unless you go spicy.
yeah. Logan's grandmother. made chickpea burgers because they're trying to do the same thing. It was
So
bomb.
good, bro.
It was fucking great, dude. I need to get me some chickpeas. This is wonderful.
Yeah, that's good shit, man. Or black bean burgers. I mean, you just have to eat more. That's the only thing. If you're gonna live an active lifestyle and go and do stuff, you just have to eat
I
more.
don't I don't need a lot of food, man.
I don't either, but once I start
Some
moving around and
working
really
out,
doing
yeah,
stuff, I'm
yeah.
just like going to work 5 days a week from not doing that for a while. Like my need for food just went through the roof in comparison.
Yeah, I'm an active person because
Yeah.
I want running Friday, Saturday I went on a hike, and then today I played disc golf. So I'm obviously gonna need more food than if I was sitting around not doing that stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty cool.
Do you ever see you saw my bike, right?
You sent me like the Walmart picture, but I haven't actually seen it.
I'm gonna busty hand it. Bang.
Nice. Ooh, and the
Blueness.
cat's getting busy over there. Yeah, if you could just learn how to ride it,
Cat's
you'd
insane
be good,
sometimes,
dude.
dude. I know, right? It was so fun up until like the second that I'm like wonk. And with the cruiser too, I felt like I suck, man. I suck at building a bike. I learned. I was like, so I'm standing at the counter and they're like, it's gonna be another day or two if you want us to put it together. And I was like, 2 days? I'm not trying to take hour and a half long bus rides to. Anyway. So I'm like, nah, it's cake. Putting a bike together? You kidding me? I'm smart. I smart. No, I'm not. The handlebars
Yeah.
went down. Like they're like "Grr," at the same time as it turning, so it could like almost hit the body, and it just was a whole thing. It just was just a shitty situation. But it wasn't raining. Although now that I think about it, if it was raining, I would have been wearing my rain jacket, and then when I fell, I wouldn't have gotten all muddy and potentially had more cushion for my hand or something. But then again, maybe I would have gotten tied up on the bike. Yeah, whatever, anyway. Living with what ifs, but just bumping Andre Nicotina, having a good time. Trying
Andre
to.
Nicotina, kid, tell me where your sister
Oh,
live.
here, for the podcast, I'll show you. I was trying to describe how I was standing. So I'm standing on the pedals, going like this, like leaning back, like
Yeah, getting
yippee,
ready for it.
like
I'm about to hit
yippee.
this. I'm gonna hit this puddle.
Because I have what do you call that? Where it covers the back wheel. So even when I go through it, it doesn't spray me. So it's pretty cool. Like I wasn't gonna put it on because there's one on each wheel, and I was like, the hell do I need that for? A freaking God, what is that called, dude?
A splatter guard,
I guess. No, though.
a water shield,
No. But
a
that is its
device
purpose.
for blocking you from getting wet from riding through a puddle.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like an idiot.
Man, we used to love riding bikes when we were kids,
I
man. I was just
know.
thinking.
And through
Remember the?
puddles. I used to
Yeah.
love. That was my favorite thing.
I remember I even used to take pride in biking up hills. Put that shit on the low gear, and I'm about to hit this hill. I
Dude,
remember.
you
You
know how
remember like
hard it is for me to go uphill? I'm just like, ugh. The fronts of my legs start
I'm walking
burning.
this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do too. Straight up, don't
Yeah.
give a shit. There's all these people that take biking seriously that go up and down that same path, and I'm just like pushing my cruiser bike with blue wheels up it. And I'm like,
You remember back in the day when you would well, first of all, we became really good at riding with no hands.
mm-hmm.
And then you would transition to like standing up with no hands. And then you would get on the seat. You remember like when you would throw your leg over and you would have your right leg on the left pedal and you'd be cruising along like that and
Well, that's how I get off, and it
oh
feels
yeah, like
cool
your
every time.
mid thing you're like, yeah.
I literally just step off every time. I didn't ride a bike for like 5 years or something, and then rode a bike for the first time in Denver in forever. And I dismounted like that, and 100% in my mind was like, yeah.
Yeah. Like if
Just
someone was
all
there, if someone was there,
super
you'd have been like,
stoned, riding a bicycle in downtown Denver, like having a blast. That was cool.
yeah, I really have a big urge to go ride bikes now after like,
Dude, it's mad fun. Especially because even if there's ruffians about or something bad, like you're out. Like you could ride around in the shittiest of neighborhoods and still probably be fine. You might get your bike stolen
as long as someone doesn't throw a pole through your spokes.
or shoot you
Yeah,
or have
yeah.
a real good knife throw.
Or be really, really fast at running and you're not that good at
I mean,
biking.
that's the thing, man, is trying to get up and go on this thing? No way. No
Because it's a
way. I go
cruiser.
all the way into 7th and try and just pump it out to just get going. Nah, dude, you couldn't do it much faster than I do it. And not you, just in general, like you couldn't really spin it much faster and you're still
Yeah.
not taking off. So. I almost just want to get a different set of handlebars. Might be cool.
Hey, you're gonna have to bring back the the piss break thing for this podcast.
Wow, number
You're gonna
two?
have to bring the slides on. Yeah. I was hydrated today.
You said people just touch my hair. Who the fuck are you? That's all
People
I'm
are
saying.
bold, dude. People are bold. Yeah. It's like, oh, who gave you the right to just invade my personal space and
I was just
touch?
sitting there eating some sushi one time, just like zoned out, writing in Sharpie in a notebook or something. And this, like, I don't remember who it was now, but somebody just like touched my hair, and it was just like, what are you doing? Like, you see a shiny object in the road, do you just go pick it up? Like, what's up? You know?
Well, it's like I was telling you, my son and I are eating pizza at a pizza parlor. Like, oh, father and son eating pizza. His son's cute. I'm gonna go over and interrupt their meal and start talking to his child. Like, what are you doing?
Well, that kind of
Just
socializes him a little bit, though.
yeah, he's socialized enough. I'm just saying that's a pretty bold thing to do,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, it's a little weird.
Do you pet someone's dog without asking? Yeah, sometimes.
No, I always ask. Some people
Yeah.
are weird about it.
Well, I mean, at like disc golf. At disc golf today, people don't have their dogs on leashes, and if the dog comes up to me, like feel like that's kind of
Oh,
different.
well, that's different.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
but not
course.
like yeah.
I'm talking about, like, if I approach somebody's dog. Because if I see a really cool dog, I want to pet that dog. So I ask them, like, anytime I see it. And people do the same thing to me. I'm like, good luck. You can pet him if he'll let you. But,
Yeah,
dude,
you shouldn't just pet someone's dog. You don't
Denver
know.
is so chill that people literally, like, I'll be walking my dog down the street, right? And people would like stop and be like, "Oh, can I pet your dog?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's really skittish though, so like if you kneel down, he'll be cooler about it." Or like I had to sit on the ground, and there was people that sat on the ground to be able to pet my dog. Just walking down the sidewalk, sat down. I was like, "This is Portland-esque." Like,
Yeah, when I was doing HVAC in Oregon, you start to learn certain things about the culture because you're going to people's residences every single day. The dog ownership in Oregon is crazy. It was more rare for a house not to have a dog than to have a dog,
oh
or
yeah,
not to. Yeah,
yeah,
everybody has dogs. It's crazy. It's cool. I like that. I feel like
yeah,
that
me
says
too.
I feel like that says a cool thing about the culture.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to get a dog. I think that's gonna be awesome.
You think I'll be a good dog owner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
If
gonna be super cool. And then Logan will have just his little like best pal.
I can't wait. Yeah, and I mean, if my parenting skills are any reflection of being able to translate that to a dog, it's going to be a good situation.
Well, it's It's pretty simple. Consistency is like the number one thing. Where, like with Mister, not that I always do it, but for the first 2 years or whatever, I just, every time we're at the door, you gotta sit down before I open the door. I go first. Or you can go first, but you gotta sit down first. When we cross the street, same kind of deal. Every time. Every single time that we would get to the corner, I'm like, hey. And he's never allowed to go in the street. He's never allowed to go in the front yard. Like, you just have to know what the boundaries are and set those boundaries, and then that's it.
I mean, as much like it's similar to us in a way. Like how much better do you operate if you wake up at the same time every day and you do the same routine in the morning? You
Yeah.
know?
Well, and you get your energy out and you feel better. And that's the other thing with dogs too, is a lot of people have dogs that don't act very good in general. Like they're too over the top when people come over, or they bark a lot, or whatever.
Or they
But it's
piss
like
every single time they get excited.
it's like, well, yeah. I mean, that's a trait that's really hard to get rid of.
How do you train that out of a dog? Because my buddy's dog
You
pisses
don't
every single
Yeah,
time
you don't
that
give them
it.
any attention. You literally pay zero attention to them when you come in the door. Like whenever those exciting things happen, you literally pay no attention to them whatsoever. So that they eventually don't associate you coming home with like a celebratory event, which is something that again, I should do with my dog, but I still don't because I'm an idiot. And I'm just like, yeah.
Well,
Or
you're excited to
even
see him,
reacting to them peeing is still reacting to them, so then the behavior could continue.
so you
But it doesn't always work. Some dogs are super neurotic, so there's just not much you can really do about it. But hopefully they grow out of it.
yeah. My buddy's dog pissed on me.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, this is what I wanted to happen today. Thanks, that's cool. Now I'm wearing my buddy's clothes.
Right now?
No, no.
Oh, oh.
When,
I was like,
when I,
you're
when I was
still
yeah
wearing them? Didn't you go to your buddy's house like 2 days ago?
yeah when I miss my friends, I take clothes from their house and I wear it so I can feel closer
Totally
to them.
normal thing to do.
Yeah.
Bro life.
Yeah, and I'll even like for you, like you haven't noticed, but every time that we've seen each other, I've been collecting your hair. So I have like a hair doll in my closet. So when I miss you, I take it out and I.
Just smell it.
Mhm.
You know what's always good? Good buddy comedy. Like, do I want to watch Dumb and Dumber right now? No. But if it was on, would I watch it? For sure.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the ultimate buddy comedy. I've already seen that so many times, bro.
but
Oh my
I think it's
god.
different too. Like I've always been. I don't know what this says about you, or if like most people are like this, but I feel like some people aren't. Like I've always been a best friend person. Like I have a best friend, and I don't know if I've like explored it enough to know like if other people if that's like standard, but I feel like some people just have like a whole bunch of friends that aren't necessarily a best friend.
Mhm. I always had a best friend. Always.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I haven't, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I've always kind of just swapped off. It's crazy. I mean, it
You
was
ever
loneliness. I realized years ago that, like, I was super lonely. I was looking for, like, a kindred spirit kind of relationship with somebody, but all you could really find was more like a shared common interest. And that was about as deep as it got. Not that you can't have deep conversations, but there's just a difference when, like, if something was to happen, right? Regardless of circumstance, I would go and try and help you or, my other close friends. Like, I have a different kind of relationship. Not like, oh, these guys were talking shit, let's go beat them up, but more of a, like, hey, this thing happened, I got injured, I need a place to crash, like I'm in a bad spot, whatever. Something terrible happens in some way and I'm like, hey man, like Ray just went out to his friend's house for a month to like help him out in a bad situation, just emotionally support him, you know? Like,
oh, that's just the kind of person he is too. You ever had the friend? I remember growing up, I had a friend who it was him and then it was two other guys, and it was always so fascinating to me that it was a relationship of dominance and being submissive. Like the two guys were his best friend, but they were submissive to him, and he was the decision maker. Like even so far to the extent that they would like walk behind him, and it was like, "What are we doing today?" Like this person makes the decision. And I was just always like, "How are you in this friendship?" I don't even get that. Why would you want to be into this? I mean, I understand if you're not a super confident person, you kind of like want other people to make the decisions for you, and it's really a lot easier to exist in a situation where you are the submissive person to someone else. But like that was their dynamic. Like,
Yeah. I never really had that. I had like my best friend when I was maybe 12 to like 17, something like that. We were bad. Like we were.
we were you're we were best friends when we were 12.
No, I know, but hadn't I'd moved down here because for sure I didn't move down just before I turned 13.
We were that young when you moved.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
wow.
moved in at the end of fifth grade.
I
So
guess yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
So anyway, basically when I moved down here, I was still pretty nerdy for the most part. Like not in the sense of like I still loved adventuring around and stuff, but I was deep in Yu-Gi-Oh cards, still playing Pokemon. Like I was hitting all those bases. And then the kids that didn't like going to school and would go off and light stuff on fire and drink beer and stuff, like that just sounded like way more fun to me. So anyway, the kid who I ended up being best friends with, he was like the epitome of a bad kid. Like there's no I couldn't think of many worse things that he could have done. He never like sexually assaulted anybody or anything like that. But when it came to like being disrespectful, doing whatever he wanted to do, like stealing massive amounts of jewelry and bicycles and blah blah blah, like that guy and I, we actually had like the craziest relationship that I'll never be able to explain to somebody the conversations that he and I had and what they actually meant. Like when we would cry and be like, how do we stop doing what we're doing? Like, because we had a whole ring of people around us, like a big fucking ring, man. Like just below rapper size of how many people were like constantly in and out to hang out with us and party and whatever. Like there was an actual pressure to being the alpha people. And anyway, this is a very long story for like he was slightly above me, but I didn't feel dominated in any way other than like physically because there was no chance that I could beat him up. We would full on brawl just for the front seat of the car. It was insane. Like we would fight each other in our friends' front yards or in his front yard or wherever just to try and get the front seat. And I always knew I was going to lose, but I fought for it every friggin' time.
Sounds like fun.
It wasn't.
Wow. Well, I mean, the situation that I'm talking about too is like the person who was the alpha. He knew what he was doing.
Hmm.
Like as
Oh,
much
well,
as
we
they
knew what we were doing.
as much as he liked, as much as like the submissive people in the relationship liked being the submissive people, which I don't think they really did like it, but it was just like they were living vicariously through the alpha person. But he knew what he was doing, and as much as they liked that, he liked having them as submissive to him because it made him feel important.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember growing up, like our friend group was pretty even leveled. There was like I can remember one or two people that were the submissive people in the group, right? Always would just go along with everything all the time, and were kind of like they wanted their actions and things to be played out for them. But like with Ian, like people would be like say oh, like he's the leader of the group, and we would get like mad. Like no, he's fucking not. Like
Yeah, he was.
he doesn't fucking. He was honestly, he was. But I'm just saying, like you would say that to us, and it would piss us off because we were all we all thought of ourselves as alphas. So if someone would say that to you, you'd be like, no, fuck that. Like, it's not fuck. He was. Ian was like the kingpin of the group. But like,
Yeah,
you would tell these guys that, and they wouldn't have an issue with it. They wouldn't bother them that you'd be like, he's the leader. They'd be like, oh yeah, yeah, he is.
yeah. No, I mean, I never had a friendship like that, I suppose, where it was like, oh, you're deciding everything that we're doing, and we all just
I'm just
laugh when we
along. I'm
talk.
along
Like,
for the ride. Yeah.
that sounds a little extreme. I just meant more like I like having somebody to kick it with most of the time. Like, I love my free time, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to kick it with somebody, you know. You and I's friendship is the perfect example. Like, we're both doing other shit, but then we think of something to do and we go and fucking go for a hike or whatever. Like, I can do that on my own, but it's better with a buddy there. It's other than sleeping or hanging out with a girl who you just met and you're like you're kind of feeling them out or whatever. Other than that, I'm down. I'm down to have a roommate for the rest of my life as long as we fucking just do whatever we can to better the living situation and promote positivity and respect each other's areas and time, and like it's not that big of a deal, you
Well,
know?
and it's just what are the motivating factors behind the relationship? Like it's foolish for you to think that some of the motivation behind having close friendships or a best friend or a girl is not motivated. It's motivated by loneliness, right? To an extent. Now you can be very content within yourself, but there's still that social seeking that you do. If a relationship was motivated out of neediness, like let's say like you and I weren't doing the things in our lives that were going to benefit us for the long haul, but through our relationship it was okay because it was like we could forget about it, then it's like a negative relationship, you know?
No. Well, and that's what I'm describing. I mean, it was when I was drinking, man. Like, I would just go from buddy to buddy to buddy to buddy. Like, I could name off like who my best friend was throughout my entire life. I could name probably 15 different best friends that I've had. Mobode, I think. No, no, no. Kevin. Kevin was my first best friend ever when I lived with my grandparents. And then it was Mobode. No, it was Benjamin, but he moved back to Maine in like seventh or second grade. And then it was Mobode. And then it was you. And then I think Jake was before, during, and after while we were all hanging out. But then I stopped hanging out with him nearly as much because he was fucking insane.
Yeah.
And then like we were crazy, but like
You
you
remember
wanted to do weird shit.
the ooh
Yeah, yeah,
the,
yeah.
like,
And then moved down here. It was Clayton. Oh man, who would it be after that? After Clayton would be probably Bo, Erica. Yeah, it's a bunch of people, man. But like each of
I
those
have
people,
the same thing.
I
Yeah.
can name. Well, no, except for Clayton, because he and I hung out because we just loved doing the same shit and we were similar people, but we were also really young, so we just like played video games, used LimeWire, and like watched Viva La Bam and bought fucking heartogram wristbands and skateboarded. The skateboarding group was pretty cool. We didn't have like a leader at that point. We just had the kid whose house we could party at because his mom was insane. So, but yeah, a lot of those relationships were just all based on drinking or drugs or whatever, and especially drinking because I always wanted to drink. Like if I had a couch to sit on and drink, I was there. Period. So when I was young, it was like if I could find a buddy whose house I could just hang out at all the time and fucking party and whatever, and then go home and come back and just live between two places and party as much as possible, that's what I'm doing. And if it's your house, yeah, hell yeah. Like,
Yeah, I think the reason why my relationships, maybe not the full reason, but part of the reason why my relationships with like let's say Ian and Matt and all them transcended drinking and doing drugs is because we all got into that stuff together. Like we were friends in 8th grade before all that stuff happened, you know.
Yeah. It
So
was
the race late.
ironic because Clayton, the friend that I was closest with in like my youngest years out in Arizona, was we smoked pot for the first time when I was old enough. Because when I was really, really young, I had cookies, and then I think I tried to actually hit a bong one time when I was like really young, but I didn't have any clue what I was doing. So trying to say that I don't remember it enough to say that I like even inhaled anything. I had no recollection. It was in the same house, ironically enough. I remember directly afterwards that I went and played the Lion King game, which to this day is one of the hardest fucking games on the planet.
I
And
love that game.
yeah, I've watched people do speed runs of it, and I'm like, fuck you, dude. No way. I thought as an adult those things might get a little easier. Nope.
Yeah,
Aladdin game,
you're talking about
hard.
the oh, I just can't wait to be king scene from the movie. That part where you're jumping on the animals.
Yep.
That shit was hard. That's funny. My first marijuana experience was with brownies. Very first time ever. I remember it was 420
Hmm.
when I was 16. Ian came over to my house because my parents would leave early. So like when we skipped school, we always went to my house, and we took the brownies, and they were made with like some ridiculous amount, right? Nothing we
Yeah,
should have
back
been
in the
planning.
day, people weren't measuring or paying attention.
Yeah,
They
and
just threw a bunch of stuff into butter.
I always remember people telling me, "Oh, the first couple times I smoked, I didn't get high, or whatever." And I'm like, I did because I ingested it, and I just remember being just retarded. Sorry, lack of a better term, just being so high. I remember I had bowling that day, and I went to bowling. I just remember feeling really crazy.
Did
My
you bowl
teacher,
well?
I don't remember. Um, my teacher, my language arts teacher, shout out to Mr. Shepard, who also told us that we wouldn't amount to anything. Um, called my parents,
Sounds like a smart guy.
called my parents on 420 because their child was skipping school. So I come home from bowling and I'm just out of my mind high. Out of the very first time I ever did it, and it's potent brownies. So I come home and my parents are like, "We need to talk to you." Come into the living room. And I remember I sat in a chair and they sat on either side of me, and I'm just looking at the ground. Like I cannot look at my parents, just looking at the ground. And they start asking me about like, "Oh, you're skipping school." And I'm like, "Yep, no." They're like, "Are you all right?" "Yeah, I just don't feel good. Like, I need to go to bed." Like,
Oh,
I
that'd be
don't,
so anxious. Like,
yeah.
so anxiety ridden.
I was looking at the ground.
Yeah.
That's not, yeah.
There was one time, the only time I think I've ever had anything that was laced, right? And I don't know for a fact. It could have been just amazing or I don't know. But it was some random dude that I bought stuff from because I was really young. So, oh, that's a funny story actually. The first time I ever bought it, I was hanging out in front of a Hollywood Video, not Blockbuster. Shout out Hollywood Video, right? At Hollywood Video. Resurrection, please. I miss it so bad. So bad. And so I was hanging out in front, and this kid pulls up and he's like, "Hey man." Like he seemed cool, right? And I'm like 11 or 12 or whatever. It was like the year that I moved away. And he's like, "Hey man, did you call me for some weed?" And he's got this like sick fucking 50s car. It's like got like white like
Pinstripes?
accentuation. No, not pinstripes.
Oh.
Like we're talking like old school like 50s like kind of bubbly bodied car with like white like highlighting on it. It was so sick. And he's like, "Did you call me for some weed?" And I was like, "No, but can I buy some?" And I like asked all my friends, and like I think we had maybe $10 or something, and I gave it to him. He probably gave us like nothing. I'm like, "How do I what do I get for this? You know, like what do I do?" And he's like, "Just get a can, man, poke a couple holes." So anyway, this was a lot later. Um, I bought some weed from somebody, and I knew my mom was going to be home soon, but I was just going to smoke. My buddy was supposed to show up, and then I was going to go with him and just go skateboard and be high, right? My mom gets home, and I was tripping out, dude. Like, tripping out. It was fucking insane. So, like, I'm sitting on the couch, and I had done a presentation on Japan, I think, and I had this, like, umbrella that's made out of like bamboo paper and stuff, and that was above the TV screen, and then there was big speaker on one side, big speaker on the other side, TV, and then like the entertainment center underneath. And the shape of it reminded me of Ness from Super
Smash.
Smash, yeah. So I started like tripping out that I was seeing Ness, and I'm sitting completely like quiet apartment, middle of the day, just stoned out of my mind. And he started like spinning, and I started getting dizzy and just kind of feeling like I was gonna puke. And then I heard my door slam in the background, and I'm like, oh, and it scared the shit out of me. And I look, and I see my door like slowly creeping open, and I thought I saw him look out at me, and I'm like, what is going on? And my mom walks in the door at like that fucking second, bro. Just walks in, and I'm like, oh no. And then she starts talking to me, and I'm like, she knows I'm high for sure, 'cause I fucking know I'm high, you know? And she accuses me, and I deny it. And she's like, okay, well, whatever. I guess you're just not feeling good, 'cause I said I'm not feeling good. Go ahead and clean up, you know? How about you vacuum a little bit? So I start vacuuming, and I'm tripping out so hard that I see him sitting on the vacuum, and I just was like looking at him, and he's like, right? And I'm like, dude, like what is going on? And then I'm like, I gotta go lay down after I vacuumed the same spot probably like 5 times back and forth. And I snapped out of it and was like, I gotta go lay down. I don't feel good. My buddy shows up. My mom's like, hey, your friend's here, but you're not feeling good, so you're probably not gonna want to hang out with him, right? And I'm like, fuck. Like, just screwed up the whole thing. And then I just had to ride it out, laying in my room, pretending I have a fucking stomach ache.
I
That was my punishment, though. Sorry, just to clarify the end of the story. That was always my punishment. If I came home stoned and my mom suspected something, I was like, all right, cool, go do the dishes, like, go clean the oven, whatever. Just the last thing you want to do right now is clean. You probably wanted to come home, eat some of them strawberries I bought, but nope, not today. Like, you get to go clean out the inside of the refrigerator and then not have any energy left over by the end of it. Go listen to radio.
it's crazy for me to think about old times. Like we used to be all about smoking weed for like 2 years. I think it was just all the time, anytime we could, and it was like it wasn't just smoke a bowl. It wasn't just smoke a blunt. It was like I had a group of friends, and we would get off on rolling like 4 cone blunts and having a bong loaded and a piece and a bubbler,
And just
and then full turning on the shower, putting a towel on the door, getting 6 people in there and Hawaiian hotboxing it, smoking all of it, and just everyone comes out just like no one's even having fun. No one's having fun. No one's even talking to each other. Like we're
after
not
it
even
hit
talking.
8, you're just like,
Yeah, we're not even talking to each other, but we did it. I remember
that's
having
how you could
times.
watch Tim and Eric.
Yeah, because it's just yeah. I remember having times where I was so high and I had so much anxiety that I convinced myself that I pissed myself.
Oh my god.
Like I'm sitting in the passenger side of my buddy's car and I'm like, I need to pee. Oh, like I can't pee right now. And then like holding it and then being like, I just peed myself. Wait, no, did I pee myself? I didn't pee my. I would have pee myself. Would I? I didn't pee myself. No, I did pee myself. Like, what? Like,
Dude, you know what my favorite thing to this day still is? People, and not literally, people that like to say like, "Oh, I can smoke anybody under the table, or I can outdrink anybody, or I can this, or I can that," and then them puking, or freaking out, or fucking whatever by the end of the night. Like I told you a story about my buddy who basically said that he had allegedly done psychedelics before, as in like allegedly LSD and mushrooms
Which
on
not,
different
which is not
occasions.
a good thing to try to be cool about. Not a
Nah,
cool. Not,
nah,
yeah, sure. I'll just
this isn't a bottle of vodka, bud. You're not just
yeah.
gonna pass out. Like you're gonna experience pre-death.
I
Like
take tabs all the time, dude.
I've done them both individually, mushrooms twice, and I'm like, bro, one of the times you did mushrooms, you told me flat out that they were fake and nothing happened. So, and he didn't consult me when I was like three doors down. I'm like, come on, bro. So anyway, and then he freaked out. He had a terrible time. But there was another time, and I've never told this story before, and it's not that great to be honest. So just tune out now. But this guy is talking all this shit about how much he can drink and like he's just super into rap music and just trying to be so cool and comes to hang out with us and like none of us give a fuck how much each other can drink. Like we just drink and then once there's
Have
none
fun.
left, we go get more and we drink more. Like sometimes one person gets too fucked up and then other times some, like we all take turns making asses of ourselves. It's not. Anyway, so he's talking all this shit and we're just like, dude, we don't give a fuck. We're driving down the street like 40 miles an hour. He had two tall cans of malt liquor and is puking hard after like a solid hour of talking shit about how much he can drink. It was the best. I love it.
When we first started drinking, we had a buddy who worked at Albertsons, and behind Albertsons it was a hill, and then at the top of the hill was a park. So our buddy would steal, not yeah, he'd steal it. He would like go through the back door while he was working and like hide a bunch of alcohol behind like a bush, and then later on we'd go to the park, we'd walk down the hill, we'd grab it, and we'd go drink at the park. And he would always steal like Mike's Hard Lemonades and Smirnoffs. So you got a bunch of like 17-year-old kids chugging Smirnoffs and Mike's Hards at the park. And we had this one buddy who just couldn't stomach alcohol. He would always drink like four or five and would throw up and then like keep drinking. But he would projectile vomit. It was weird. It wasn't just throw up. Like he would projectile vomit. So we always knew it was gonna happen, and it would start to happen, and we'd all be like, "Yeah, like, yeah!" Like cheering him on. Like,
I'd be like, bro, you ain't allowed to drink. Like,
yeah.
just gonna puke it all out and not drink it again. I'm not even gonna talk about it.
I wish I could go back to those days for like a week. Go be my 17-year-old self for a week. I would probably turn into my 17-year-old self and be like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah,
I did,
I don't
I
want
did,
this.
yeah."
Yeah, I guess
Knowing
maybe in
knowing
like
I could go.
5 years, I'd like to do that. Get adulting down a little bit better and then go get a taste of what it used to be.
I mean, I
No
think,
responsibilities. Like, oh, you have to
yeah.
go to school. I never went to school. What are you gonna do about it? Like, you're gonna
I,
force me? You're gonna drop me off there? Okay, so unless you designate a person to stand next to me all day, I don't have to stay in this building. Like, nobody can force me personally, you know?
oh, we would just walk out casually. We
Just,
would casually walk out. Yeah.
I'm over it.
Matt and I would meet up and be like, "Dude,
Ow.
I don't want to be here today. Oh, I don't want to be here either. Okay, well, let's go."
Yeah,
Like no one was waiting or trying to catch us.
yeah. When I was on probation, it became kind of an issue. But even then, it like never. I was already going back to juvie anyway. It wasn't like my school records were gonna make such a big difference. I wasn't on some fast track or something. Like I had no interest. As soon as you told me when you're 16 you can get your GED, do a year in community college, and if you do well you can transfer to a university after that. I'm like, so I could just be a year ahead of everybody already. I had a college fund. That was it. I was like, okay, cool. Let's get the party started. But
It was just so much fun, man. It was just
it
and
was, yeah,
and
for sure.
giving a 17-year-old an apartment to himself. It's not not a good idea.
No.
And that's what we had. The leader of the group at 17 years old in high school had an apartment. So where were you going when you skipped school? Go into his apartment. There's no chance any adult could even go to that place.
Yeah.
It's
Nobody's parents
horrible.
know. Nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
horrible. A bunch of minors.
Sitting there getting torqued.
Yeah, every day getting playing, watching super bad and just getting fucked up.
Yeah, it was a really bad habit that I had, because it makes it tough later in life when you're just like, man, I don't want to be wherever I'm going, and you just don't do it, even though you need to. Like,
You
it
still
just
have that
sets like a,
tendency.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
I
one of
have
the
an
big.
unclaimed paycheck that I need to claim. I still need to do it. I've known for like a year, and I just don't go through the steps. Like, it's so stupid.
Yes, but it's also a good trait in other aspects to not do
Yeah,
things that you
but
don't like. But like, why do you think the Navy was so good for me? I could no longer just not show up to work, or I could no longer just not do what I was told to do. You know,
no,
that's what I needed. That's what I needed at that time.
yeah.
You want me to do this? Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. That's always how it was growing up.
Unless it's like a chore or something. I was pretty good about my
Yeah.
chores.
But like, Why do you think Vegas is so much fun to me? Like, because you take 4 days off of work and you're in a place where the mindset of the entire town is to get fucked up. You don't have anywhere to go or anything to do. It's almost like getting to relive that a little bit. You know,
I
that's why
want
Vegas
Vegas
is
to
so dope.
become Amsterdam, like the red light district of Amsterdam. I think make psilocybin legal and make all these, just let people go out there and fucking party. Like, really party. Like, get fucking down. Because I can have fun in Vegas, for sure. But would I maybe want to partake in some psychedelic festivities? Like, probably. I don't drink, so let me go look at some pretty lights and like watch fucking Cirque du Soleil while I'm. My hand doesn't work as well.
Well, I think it should just be legal everywhere. I mean, the places in our world that have the most success with combating drug addiction are the places that have legalized drugs.
Yeah,
So
it would just be so nice. Even like I'm not even trying to have it legal everywhere, man. Like, don't put anybody in prison for it. But if you want to take it away because you're scared and you can't trust just any random person with drugs, okay, whatever, dude. You pull me over and take my shit. Like, I don't give a shit. But if if people just had a place that they could go and just party it up and just, I
go
mean,
get it out of their system.
yeah, go down and get some legal cocaine, and just go get some prostitutes, and they could just have a blast, you know. I mean, the
People
outskirts of Vegas would become pretty,
nasty.
yeah, like
Yeah.
worse. But at the same time, it's like deal with it, you know.
We
Take
should
one.
plan a we should plan a Vegas trip.
Yeah, I'm down. Dog fucking scared me.
That's what we'll do when we reach a certain amount of subscribers.
Yeah, go to Vegas.
Yeah.
We can record our first one from a Vegas hotel room. What was the movie where they due date? Did you ever see that?
Euro date? Yeah.
Yeah, that was that was hella funny. They like the guy who plays, God, what is his name? Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Paul Rudd. He and Seth Rogen are both having like issues with their women at the time, and he's like, let's just go to Vegas, man. Like, let's get out of here. And they go to party in Vegas, and they take mushrooms, and they just end up having a horrible trip. And they end up at the end of the night just in the hotel room, like trying to decide which chair is okay and which like whatever. I'm like, bro, I've been there.
Wait, that's knocked up.
Oh, Knocked Up. Sorry. Due Date's
Yeah.
good too, though. Due Date's really funny. That's Zach Galifianakis, and
Taking mushrooms and going and seeing Cirque du Soleil sounds like some fun though.
yeah, but we gotta do like tickets online, like take
Yeah.
care of everything
You
so
got to
that we're
streamline the whole process. Yeah.
minimal interaction with people, and we're definitely not actually gonna do this.
No, I wouldn't do stuff like that.
No, that's terrible for you. It's bad for your health.
Yeah. hmm I'm an adult, so I don't do things like that.
Yeah. Nah, but I think about that because I'd still like to go to Vegas. I think it'd
The
be
shows are
fun.
dope.
Just like go
Like I told
walk
you,
around, go to a bunch of cool shows, stay in a big hotel, go
I
gamble a
went
little bit.
there. I went there with my core group of friends, and the whole attitude was just to get fucked up, and it was a blast. And then I went there with my girl at the time and other guys with their girls, and the attitude was experience Vegas. They were both like equally as fun, man. It was. We went and saw Cirque du Soleil and just went and saw the sights. It's just fun. It's a fun town.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I never used to want to travel up until like after I quit drinking, ironically. And not for a long time, up until if it's been like 4 years, probably a year ago, that I really wanted to go to other countries and travel and stuff. Because for the longest time, I was like, I'm just gonna go to another place where people live, and like, what am I gonna just drink? You know, that's the point. I could have gone on a million vacations, man. I had so much money at one point. If I'd wanted to just bounce around the world, I totally could have done that. But had no interest whatsoever. And I don't even regret it because I'd almost rather do it now anyway. So,
You're in a better place to do it.
because isn't that what it always seems to end up? Like, if you go to another city, you don't have your kids, like, what do? You just go drink. Like, that's maybe go see a museum or two or something and then go drink. That doesn't really sound any different than if I just went to like go get sushi and went to a bar in any town ever. Yeah. We could have some fun though, man. I want to go see the Deep South at some point.
I want to go everywhere. I'm down to go everywhere. I mean, just like my son and I doing that drive to Palm Springs. That
Hmm.
was a blast. That was awesome just to
Yeah.
be in a different place, and it's cool too because it's the desert. I haven't really been in like that much of a desert before.
I love driving too. Like
Me too.
going like 12 hours in a direction and just kind of tripping out. Like, holy shit. Like on a map, I'm a very discernible distance away from where I was. Like, it's crazy, man. I would drive, and I never realized until I looked at a map, but I would drive from uh, Denver to Phoenix and back in like 2 days because I would have to go to an appointment out here and then I'd drive back to Denver the next day. Bro, it was crazy. Like, I just drive 13 hours and then I definitely would not smoke pot and sit there and just be like, dude, I was way over there. Or vice versa, I'd come back to Denver and I'm just like, oh man, I can't believe that I just traversed that amount of distance in such a short time, all of my own accord. And then, I mean, airplanes are even more so. I think part of my anxiety that I now have with airplanes is based on traveling such a far distance and my mind not allowing that to comprehend. Like going from uh, Phoenix, technically Mesa, up to Washington in like 2.5 hours or like 2 hours or something. I was like, that's 1,800 miles. That means that we were moving like upwards of 800 miles an hour or something crazy. I forget what all the numbers were. 600 plus. I'm like, no, no, fuck no. I have no reason. No reason. You want to go across the ocean and that's the only way to go about it? Sure, I'm down.
It
But other than that,
doesn't
fuck
bother
you.
me.
Fuck you. You want me to get in a big fucking piece of aluminum that I have no intimacy with the mechanics of at all and go 600 miles an hour? No thanks. No, I'm good. No, 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 no. No, no.
Doesn't bother me at all.
It
Yeah.
never used to.
I'm gonna take a break.
Wow.
I know, man. I know. Because I haven't eaten food. I've been drinking water, so it's just going straight through me.
Wow.